Free Comic Book Day. Wolverine. Origin of an X-Man. Once upon a time in Canada, our proposed field agent's cipher code is Weapon X. As many of you know, he is a mutant, born with the superhuman ability to heal from any wound. Next slide please. Ka-clink! His healing factor allowed surgery that bonded the super strong synthetic metal adamantium to his skeleton, and gave him unbreakable claws that can cut through every substance we've been able to test them on. Next slide. Ka-clink! The person, government, or agency that performed this surgery is unknown. It is obvious from his fighting prowess that Weapon X has received intense combat training, but his description and fingerprints match no known law enforcement agency, intelligence service, or armed forces of any allied or enemy nation. Dr. Hudson, I genuinely trust the judgment of your Department H when it comes to these super people, but you're now asking us to trust a nation crisis to a man we know virtually nothing about. Why is he holding out about his background, James? He is an admiral, at least not voluntarily. You see, Weapon X came to us with near total amnesia, his memories wiped. Let me guess, by persons unknown? Gentlemen, we have already lost a crack commando team to this accident. And now you want to send in a mental case who hasn't gone on a single mission yet? I say we call in my 2nd Bomber Squadron. Turn that town into a crater before the situation gets any worse. No, civilian losses will be too high. This is why the Department H Super Agent program exists. To do what conventional forces can't. To go where no one else can. Can I have the next slide? Ka-clink. Let me show you how we would handle this situation with Weapon X. Gentlemen, I give you Operation Wolverine. 2 hours later. Logan, put that book down. I had to practically get down on my hands and knees and beg the brass to give Department H this mission. The least you could do is actually listen to the briefing. Hey, Jimmy, it's your army of head shrinkers that hasn't been able to help solve my memory loss. You can't blame me reading up on the subject myself. Right now, I'd rather you focus on the immediate past. Strange, incoherent reports started coming from the New Brunswick fishing village of Harbordale around dusk yesterday. At 0200 hours, the situation had deteriorated enough for the ministry to send a commando unit to investigate. By 0330, the brass had lost all contact with the unit. They haven't been heard from since. Your secondary mission objective is to locate the missing commandos and rescue them, if possible. I still haven't heard what it is I'm supposed to be rescuing them from yet. That would be your primary mission objective. Namely, holy. Find out what's happened to Harbordale, and how to stop it. Kingdom of No. No explanation can be ruled out at this point. The origin could be even extraterrestrial. Here's the insertion point. Glad we had you train the RAF paratroopers for 2 weeks. Pfft, cuties are for sissies. Bring this tub right over the tree line, flyboy. I got you. Logan, call me Wolverine. That's my new codename, right? How can Department H get that big fat budget increase? You have been angling for it. I don't show the top dogs what I can do. And I aim to put on a show. Please, the brass already think you're a dangerous loose cannon. Don't do anything stupid. Who? Me? Yeehaw! No, that's not stupid. Thanks, Logan. Snicket. Remember, kids, don't try this at home. Unless you got an adamantium-laced skeleton, which you don't. Fip. I don't have any specific memories of the woods, but being here just feels right. Feels like me. Maybe I was a lumberjack in my past. Speaking of memories, this, I don't see how I can forget. Just like ants at a picnic, only weirder. So they're making this coating by stripping down any machines they encounter along their way. Hey, you bug bots, speak the English or French? This is Canada after all. Take me to your leader, or motherboard, or whatever. Incoming intuitions, news source, mapping proper conception, synthesis complete, object adamantium laced, category raw material, executing reclamation. Whoa, hey, you ain't reclaiming jack. I like my metal skeleton just where it is, inside my body. Object resisting, summoning aid, summoning aid. Let me guess, you'd be aid? I got bad news for you, bub. You're not making a good first impression here. And not all Earthlings are compassionate and understanding as me. Snicket. Rah! Observations, fighting style complete. Chris! Countermeasure. Executed. Chris! Yeah! Prior mapping, in error. Object, not material. Object, other self. Executing transport of other self to proper convergence zone. What? Clemp, I don't have to tip you at the end of this ride, do I? 'Cause I left my wallet in my other pants. Huh? The bots are following those glowing lines on the road like a train on its tracks. In fact, this dump is covered in them. The thicker lines seem to lead to scenes like that. Robots going through the motions of an old sitcom. Or like dioramas in the main exhibit hall of the Museum of Boring. Scenes from a generic North American boyhood. Not that I remember what mine was like. Executing mapping to convergence zone. Convergence 1, male. Convergence 2, athlete. Convergence 3, opponent. I don't like where this is going. You want to add me to your Robo-Wax museum, huh? Oh, I see you need more players for your hockey game. Thanks, but I'll pass. Object resisting. Summoning. Yeah, summoning aid. Queek! Before I get into round 2 with you jokers, let me try something. Skra! Slam, bam, cree, crash. Ha! I knew it! You're blind without your little glowing lines to lead you around, ain't you? Now, if you had just taken me to your leader when I asked you nicely, you wouldn't have been all smashed up. But something tells me, if I follow this day-glow maze to the very end, I'm gonna find I'm myself. Prior mapping, in error, object, not, other self, object, not, raw material, object, enemy plus hostile plus chaotic plus foe, executing, purge, I came in peace? Yeah, I wouldn't have believed me if I was you either. Nah! But if you, ain't gonna let me come in peace, skash! Then I'm leaving you in pieces! Chkan! Take that, you ugly alien robot seahorse thing! Wait, a seahorse? I think I know what's going on here. It's crazy, but logical. Yeah, here, the thinnest, most barely noticeable trail. But if I follow it, it should lead me right to... Bingo! Zone forbidden, object, trespasser, executing, defense at all costs. Clink! Chwok! Gotta go a little easy on you lot. Shunk! 'Cause, just as I thought, you're really the mission commandos. Asleep, covered in the cybergunk, used like puppets. And I bet those are the Harbordale townsfolk in the living diorama out there. What the bots tried to turn me into. Whoever's pulling the strings is in here. Or, more accurately, in there. Slash! What's happening? If I gotta guess, I'd say you're a mutant like me, buddy. And your powers went out of control. You see, waking you up has freed the town. And once you're done cleaning up the mess you've made around here, Department H headquarters, I'm taking you to a guy named James MacDonald Hunson. Our newly discovered mutant is Harbordale auto mechanic, Madison Jefferies. After his service overseas, he appears to be suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder. His ability is a telekinetic restructuring of glass, metal, and plastic, when his psychological state completely deteriorated. his powers began acting on their own, forming a model of his consciousness that covered the town and him. We're sending Jeffries to a clinic so he can get the help he needs. But what I want to know is how you figured all this out, Logan. Maybe you don't need a fancy PhD when you got instincts, Jimmy. Give me a break, out with it. I've been reading up on how we create memories, remember? The brain makes strong pathways go to good and happy memories, and weak pathways to bad ones. I figured that, just like therapy, if I could find and unlock the repressed memories, they'd lose their power. The tip-off was that seahorse-looking thing was at the hub, controlling everything. Seahorse in Greek is hippocampus, the part of the brain that regulates memory. They call it that cause it looks like a seahorse under x-rays. Good work, the brass is ecstatic, and this incident convinced them to give us the funding to create Canada's very own superhero team, Alpha Fight. Alpha Fight? What? What does it even mean? Dr. Hudson, we are receiving a Priority 1 mission command from the Ministry of Defense. Agent Wolverine is instructed to report for immediate deployment. On my way. What's the situation? We have confirmed reports that there are two, well, monsters, would be the only word for them, fighting in the Quebec wilderness. And Wolverine could be the only man who can stop the Hulk and Wendigo in time.